What a test match, a proper battle. Well done to the All Blacks who retained the Bledisloe Cup for the 23rd year in a row. Something crazy like that, ridiculous. But a massive high five and a massive well done to the Wallabies who really put themselves in a position, backs against the wall type stuff, put themselves in a position to win this game, but just couldn't pull it through, or definitely made it hard for themselves, missing 39 tackles, I think it was, conceding 15 penalties. When you do stuff like that against any team, it really makes it hard to win those games. But credit to them, they definitely put their hands up in this one, a massive effort from them. But well done to the All Blacks. 52 unbeaten games now at Eden Park. That's wild. While probably giving a lot of All Blacks fans mini heart attacks along the way, especially in this game. Put it like that. What did you guys think of All Blacks fans, Wallabies fans, non-All Blacks and non-Wallabies fans? What did you guys think of it? Who played well? Who didn't? Who was your man of the match? Let me know in the comments. Let's get straight into it. I want to look first at some of the stats, right? So this is at the end of the game. The stats here. So on attack, and I'll put this up here. So 4 to 3 tries, meters gained, a big one there. Obviously, the All Blacks gaining a lot more meters with ball in hand, which showed at the end of the game. Defenders beaten, 39 defenders beaten, and that then goes over to missed tackles for Wallabies, 39 missed tackles. Nothing else conceded. Probably turnovers conceded was a big one there. So 7 for the All Blacks. They conceded 7 turnovers and the Wallabies conceded 13 turnovers. That's 13 times you're giving the ball to the opposition. Definitely not something that you want to be doing throughout the game, for sure. Then on defense, and this is the big one for me, yes, while the Wallabies had to make a lot more tackles, they missed a hell of a lot more. And that's probably credit to the All Blacks who kept the ball a lot better, with throwing a lot more shape in regards to attack. So letting or forcing Wallabies to make defensive reads, and they weren't making the right ones and weren't sticking their tackles. So Wallabies had 232 tackles or attempted tackles and missed 39 and won 3 turnovers. Same for the All Blacks, but the All Blacks had to make a far less amount of tackles, 158, and only missed 12 tackles. It's telling stats that, for sure it is. And that's just on Super Rugby / the Rugby Championship website, if any of you guys are interested in that. All right, we'll stick on the All Blacks first. Definitely not your most polished performance. When you look at how they played 2 weeks ago in Wellington to how they played today, you're happy. All Blacks fans, you have to be happy with that. It's a massive turnaround, a massive bounce back. Again, yes, there was a lot of times in that game where if you're an All Blacks fan and you're like, oh, are we going to lose this one? Because that is credit to Wallabies because they were outstanding in a large parts of these games. And All Blacks did make it hard for themselves, especially around the breakdown. And I think there's a lot of people that talk about the ref enough, I feel like. But I'm going to say there was some questionable calls. That's all I'm going to say about that. For both ways, I reckon. So on All Blacks ball and on Wallabies ball. Predominantly a breakdown. That's all I'm going to say on that. All right. So All Blacks started off quick, fast, strong line out. Really good. They started off with a little line out move. They went down the blind. Artie Savia, Cam Roigard broke down the blind there. And off the back of that, they get the penalty. From there, they back themselves. Love that. Early on, Artie Savia is like, nope, we're going for a try here. They get the line out again. Don't score off the maul. They do a few phases from there, really suck that defense in, and then shift the ball out wide when needed. What I loved here that created the small bit of overlap was Beauden Barrett's skip pass. They had a Wallabies player coming into that one defender that was right next to Barrett. You can see him intentionally going like that to make that pass out wide to Will Jordan. He gives it to Caleb Clark, and Clark scores in the corner. What an emotional start to the game for Clark, though. About his dad singing the anthem. He didn't know about it. Tears. I was crying, but my wife was cutting onions. So I don't know if that, I think everyone was crying at home. That was emotional all round. And what a start to the game for Clark. Unfortunate for him getting the injury later on in the game, but a great start for him. What All Blacks did definitely intentionally is dropping Jordie Barrett back to take those high kicks, and that worked really well. I thought Jordie Barrett had a good game. Cops a lot of flack because I think everyone thinks that he needs to be playing 11 out of 10 every single game, but I thought he played really well in this game. Over that advantage line, just did his basics really well. Those high balls, which they obviously put him back in that position to do so, and he contested them really well. And I thought he played well. What a difference does Cam Roigard make? Wow, the All Blacks missed him. Holy, they missed him. He's so just quick to get at the ruck. He's first there. His distribution, just crisp. His eyes up to play as well. The few quick taps that he took, and just being present. I don't know how more to put this into words of just he's just always there. It's very similar to Aaron Smith in that way, where I think he then brings a little bit more with his running game. Cam Roigard does. In and around the rucks, you're not stopping him. He's so strong. There's a few times where he got held up short. Then the one time he went and scored. He scored a second try as well. He kicked a 50-22. Like, what more, man? To come back to play your first game back in the Rugby Championship after fracturing your foot, outstanding. And All Blacks missed him. They missed him massively. He was really good. For Leroy Carter's try, I thought the All Blacks were really good just in keeping the ball, being patient with the ball, being strong and dominant with their carries, getting over that advantage line, but being then effective with their rucks as well. And that helped. And Leroy Carter that close to the line, hard to stop. What allowed the All Blacks to do this, I think, was the Wallabies were just not contesting at ruck time. This is early on in that first half. At the back end of this first half, that changed. But in the early stages of the game, Wallabies weren't contesting at ruck time. They weren't getting up like line speed on defense. They were just waiting, letting All Blacks run their plays and then trying to make tackles like that. And you can't let All Blacks run their plays because they're just going to gain momentum or bust through and end up scoring like that. And that is what they did there. Beauden Barrett going off and Damien McKenzie coming on. I thought D-Mac played really well. Kicked his kicks, just controlled the game, very composed, didn't overplay his hand. And you don't need that. You've got guns outside you. You don't need to overplay your hand. Kick well, option taking good. That's all you have to do. Distribute. That's all you have to do. And I thought he did that really well. I want to look quickly at the halftime stats before I go on. So at halftime, right? Meters gain again. All Blacks here. But then my question is, how were Wallabies still in this game at halftime when you're looking at these stats? 100 more meters carried, 10 more defenders beaten, All Blacks were, made like almost double, like 40 more passes, same amount of clean breaks, and then defense. Wallabies had missed 17 tackles at halftime, and they were 3 points down. That's crazy. That's probably credit to their scramble defense, but then also that's a question mark for the All Blacks around finishing off line breaks or opportunities, creating a lot of opportunities, busting through tackles, but then not turning that into points a lot. So for the All Blacks, I thought Cam Roigard was my man of the match. Really, really good. I already spoke on him before. And just a tough old effort. There was a lot of times in this game where the Wallabies were in it and they had all the momentum. All the penalties were going their way. But the All Blacks stuck into it, kept going, kept turning up. And when they had their opportunities later on in the game, or just kept kicking those goals, I thought that was really important and good captaincy options from Artie Savia. D-Mac was kicking those kicks. And then when they scored, Roigard scored later on and just nail in the coffin sort of thing. And bounce back. That's the bounce, but they needed to win. They won. They did what they have to do. They scored their 4 points. They got the bonus point. Well done, All Blacks. A lot to work on still, but win's a win. Going over to Australia, look, man, hats off to them. Hats off to the Wallabies. Outstanding. Yes, lost the game, but in a lot of this game, they were in it. They go over to Eden Park, where the All Blacks have not lost in over 30 years, 51 games. Wallabies go there, backs against the wall, and they put themselves in a position to win this game. Absolutely they did. Yes, missing 39 tackles and conceding 15 penalties does not help your case at all, but you've got to give credit where credit is due. They put their hands up in this game, Wallabies, and they took it to the All Blacks. Didn't get the result, but an outstanding effort from the Wallabies, and for sure getting more supporters or old Wallaby supporters back into the game and more respect from opposition supporters. Absolutely they are. Well done to the Wallabies. I'll say early on in that first half, when All Blacks had a lot of the ball, pretty much all of the ball, Wallabies weren't contesting at ruck time. They weren't getting up defensively and making big, strong tackles. When they turned that around in that second quarter of the first half, they were contesting at ruck time. Ikitau, Billy Pollard, Fraser McWright, they were getting stuck in there. Then they were contesting more for the game. They had the ball more. They could slow All Blacks' momentum down. Then they were defending better. And that's when the tides turned a bit in that first half. But on the first quarter of that first half, they looked very passenger-esque. Just watching play, ball watching the All Blacks do their moves, trying to tackle them later. And that was definitely not working. When that shifted, I don't know who told who what to do, but when that shifted, when McWright, Billy Pollard, Ikitau started contesting at ruck time, the guys started getting up off the line, making strong tackles. Salakai Lotu, Sua'ali'i getting up off the line, making strong tackles. That's when they were getting in the game and getting more possession and then playing down the right areas of the field. When they were doing that, scoring tries, kicking the goals, physical, and really took it to the All Blacks. For them to have 17 missed tackles at halftime, this is the Wallabies, 17 missed tackles at halftime, and they were only down by 3 points. That's crazy. That's crazy, isn't it? That just shows that how much not how much they've grown, but just how much they could just still stay in the fight. You have to hats off to them. They got thrown a bit of a spanner in the works with McDermott going off 18 minutes in. I thought Ryan Lonergan came on and did well. He made 1 or 2 errors, but I thought he did really well like that. And then, like I said, there's that point where Billy Pollard scored that try where it was huge for the game just before halftime. They needed that. Then they're in the game here, and that's when the momentum kind of shifted. Then they went down again for Harry Potter's try. That's effort. Strong carries. Ikitau with his hands on the ball. Ikitau around the rucks. He's like a flanker, center, scrum off, just winger combined. That's the hybrid player, Len Ikitau. He's in and around the rucks, always beating 2 or 3 defenders, taking another one with him. And if he's not taking the ball into contact, he's drawing 2 or 3 defenders, looking that way and giving the little offload. He's really good for the Wallabies. He's been sensational this season for the Brumbies and the Wallabies, but he's so instrumental for the Wallabies on attack, getting them over that vantage line, just doing those little bits in and around the rucks, just the tough stuff. And he was outstanding and really good for Harry Potter's try there. James O'Connor missed kicks to touch, 2 of them, and then the one kickoff that went direct into touch. That's just, man, in big games like this, you can't afford those mistakes. But, man, a mammoth effort from the Wallabies, getting better and better each game. Like I said, bringing more Wallabies fans to the game, more Wallabies fans back to the game, and earning a ton of respect from opposition fans, for sure. Len Ikitau was my man of the match for the Wallabies. Fraser McWright was pretty good as well. Fans, Wallabies fans, All Blacks fans, what did you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye.